Hello, everyone. Thought I'd frozen there at the start, but I'm not. I'm here, which is great. So, good evening, everyone. Nice to have your company. We'll just wait for a few people to join, and then we'll get started. I never get started. I've done my shoulder in a little bit, just down the back there, but it's fine. It's fine. Anyway, so we'll just wait for a few people to join, and then we've got the lovely Lou Sims joining us, who is on right now. I'll get you on in a moment, Lou. Just wait for a few people to enter the room, to come on in, grab some nibbles, and just settle down and have a lovely time with us tonight. Caroline's watching. Hello, Caroline. Hello, Alison. Now, if anyone has any questions throughout the live, please put them in the comments, because we've got the lovely Lou Sims coming on, talking all about craft trends, what's happening in 2025, and what the craft show was all about in Frankfurt that everyone's been talking about. So good evening, Dawn. Good evening, Rapkins. Good evening, Garland. Hello, Wendy. Nice to see you all. I hope you're all well. Hello, Katie. Katie, you on your bike tonight by any chance? Katie goes on a bike and she does a lot of pedaling throughout the hour, and then gets fit, which is brilliant. So I'm just looking at the light, see whether I need to turn it down or not. Probably do, actually. Let me just stretch over here, do my own stretches, and bring that down a little bit. There you go. I think you can still see me. It's not so bright. There you go. Hello, Sarah. How are you? Nice to see you. Hello, Kaz. Nice to see you as well. Hello, Alison. Lovely to see you on a Thursday evening. Not too damp and wet outside, but it's been a miserable day again. So I've been in crafting, using my stamps, doing some samples. Maybe I'll show you those later. We'll see. The more I do, the more confident I'm getting at it. Hello, Debbie. Hello, Pamela. Lovely to have your company. Right, should we get our lovely Lou Sims on? Lou, I think if you just select that icon at the bottom of the two people, we'll get you on and we'll hear all about the latest trends. Good evening, Emma, and good evening, Shirley. Katie says, yes, she's on a bike. Good. I'm glad. Right, Lou, I just need you to select that button, or I can add you here. Let's send you the invitation. Hopefully this is... Facebook has been a bit temperamental over the past couple of days, but I'm sure this is going to work just fine. Oh, see, there she is. There she is. And I must actually turn my sound up. Good evening, Lou.
Good evening.
Oh.
Sorry, I'm just putting my glasses. I can't see you. You're a black screen.
The other day.
Hello. I can hear you, but I just can't see you. I don't know if that's a ploy, a secret ploy of some description.
No, I don't think it's of any of my settings here. Let me see. No, I don't think so. I think all my settings. It's funny because Sarah came on the other night and she said exactly the same. Let me go to that. Submitted questions will go here. No, don't need to do that. What's that one?
Do you want me to come out and go back in?
No, I don't. Oh, look. Oh, that went nice and bright. Oh, you can't see that, can you?
No.
I don't know why. No, that is bizarre. No, don't come out. Oh, I know it's frustrating, isn't it, having a blank screen and not seeing me? Can you still do it anyway, regardless?
Well, yeah, I can. Of course I can.
It's all about you, Lou. It's all about you.
No.
And Lou, it's all about shuffling those papers tonight because you are our roving reporter.
How
does that feel?
Goodness, we can see you both. I just can't see you. Weird, isn't it?
Yeah. Are you using an Android phone by any chance?
Yeah.
There you go. Now, I think there must be something going on with Android at the moment and Facebook, because Lou Withers couldn't get on the other night. She's got an Android. Oh, look, is that me doing that? Can you see that, Lou? No. Oh, no, you can't. Sorry. So I think it's something with Android. It must be either an update to your Facebook. Do you have your phone in landscape or portrait?
Portrait. Right.
Yeah, it's got to be.
With Facebook Lives, a lot of us on Android now have to use an app to force Facebook to go landscape, and then we can go live. So it possibly is a Facebook thing.
I wonder why that is. I wonder why Android have done that. I shall investigate. I like to get to the bottom of these things. If anyone's got an Android phone and they know, then let us know.
Yeah.
Right. Lou. Shall we talk about, is it the creative craft
Yeah,
world in
it's
Frankfurt?
called Creative World in Frankfurt. So
Right. Tell us
how can
what it
I?
is.
Right. It's a huge hall. Now, I say one hall. So if you imagine the floor of, say, if you went to an ICHF show, retail show,
Yes.
and you looked at one of the NEC halls.
Yes.
Yeah. Now, Creative World is like that, but it could be 6 floors high in some areas, 4 floors, 2
Wow.
floors. And there in Creative World, it goes from hall 1 right up to hall 12.
Gosh.
And each of the halls do something slightly different. So the main paper crafting side is mainly halls 1.1 and 1.2. You've then got ambient living, which is all about your household items. Well, actually, this does it a little bit of a disservice. And all the different things that go on there. You've got Christmas World, you've got Global Sourcing World. So there's lots of different things within the whole of the actual arena. And you can go around absolutely all of it. I think one day, and that was a quiet day for us, we just did just under 33,000 steps.
Wow, that's
And
a
when you
lot.
consider, I know, but when you consider we stop and start as well.
Yes.
So yeah, so it's a huge place, but it's absolutely fascinating. It's full of a buzz. There's lots going on, and it's not just paper crafting. You know, that you get inspiration from all around, sort of thing, going into lots of the different halls. We had a good mooch round, a really good mooch round.
Did you find somewhere to stay okay? Because I was planning to go to the show in Frankfurt. When I was looking at my ticket, something came up and I couldn't go. But when my flights were great, but I found out that I was actually flying into the wrong airport, the airport that's about three hours that way if you go with the cheap airline. But so it's a good job I didn't book my flight. But did you find somewhere to stay? Because, you know, it seems that the whole craft world descends on Frankfurt and it's incredibly difficult to find somewhere.
It is. If around the actual Messe Hall, there are 3 or 4 very well-known chains, and they're probably booked out. And some of the costs of those that we were hearing per night was just eye-watering.
Yeah, I concur with that.
We say about 15 minutes from the hall, and we can either catch a tram in, and it drops you right outside, which is lovely, or you can catch taxis or buses. And we prefer to do that. One, cost, obviously, but 2, you get more choice of where you can stay because you're not right on top of the actual hall itself.
And also it's a bit of a break, isn't it? If you're staying in the heart of Frankfurt or just by the river, for example, you're away from everything and you can get your head out of it. Lucy Ellis is watching. Good evening, Lucy. Ratkin said, Lucy, I've got to get you on one of these lives. In fact, Lucy, I've got one of, I've got a superb Sam to show later. Anyway, Janie's watching as well.
Hi, Janie.
Rapkin said if you reinstall your app, Facebook, on your Android, they uninstalled it from their phone, reinstalled it, and it sorted the problem out. So
I'll do that. I had to do that with Messenger because there was, I have to put codes in with Messenger, and do
you know what you've got to do, Lou?
Yeah.
Get an iPhone.
No.
We're
a family of 2 halves, half are iPhones and half are Android. A bit like we're a family of 2 halves, half are Arsenal and half are Spurs. So we have big debates.
Are you a Spurs or Arsenal fan? Sorry, I know we're digressing. We'll get back to it. Are you a Spurs?
Dad's Arsenal, brother's Arsenal, son's Spurs.
We're playing Arsenal. They're coming to the King Power this Saturday. So anyway,
good luck.
I think we played Spurs the other week. I think we beat them, didn't we?
You did 2-1.
Oh, no, it's great. Right, sorry. Let's get back on track. Adam is watching us. Oh, Adam Kendall Stokes is watching. I was having a chat with him today. He's superb. Right, back on track. So staying just away from everything that's happening. So you had a relaxful time. Brilliant.
Yeah.
But go on.
Go on. You were saying, go on.
But what was the vibe? Obviously, I hate using that word. I shouldn't use that word.
No. You're right.
Clearly, in this country, obviously, we've gone through a lot of change with one TV crafting outlet gone. So there's a lot of change, a lot of people running around in this craft industry here.
Mm.
But what's the kind of buzz like over in Frankfurt? The feel for the industry as a whole?
Positivity.
Good.
Complete and utter positivity. I'm not trying to belittle what happened with Create and Craft, because there's certain words that we all want to use, but we can't. However, it was a chance to break a mold and create something new, and that was the whole thing about it. Sort of thing was there's a chance to look out a completely different window. And we can create a completely different view, which was brilliant. But yeah, no, there was lots going on. I mean, obviously, the halls are split up. There's a lot of art companies there, as well as paper crafting, stamping, clay. There's mixed tools, big names, smaller names that bigger names that we know, but big names in Europe and the USA that we might not know. So there's a real buzz depending on where you go and who you chat and meet up with, really.
It's good to know that the vibe is positive. And I think that's what we want to know, crafters, whether it's craft companies, people starting out for the first time like myself, people buying, customers, the most important in all of this, of course, the customers. They want to know that there's positivity there, there's hope, which is great.
But yeah, that was the I mean, obviously everybody had a whinge, because obviously you're going to have a whinge. But the overall vibe was, now it was our time to take back the reins a little bit, if that makes sense, and carve a new niche, or carve a new as such, sort of thing. The way we do things might be slightly different, how we advertise ourselves and everything, but on the whole, the things we bring and people have loved hasn't changed. It's just the way we get ourselves out there, sort of thing. And there's lots of different ways of doing it at the end of the day. And I think we all forget that there's lots of different ways of doing it, because it's the same as everything. It's like when you commute to work and you do the same journey day in, day out, but after a while you forget to look out the window or see anything change as new, because you're just on that journey. The stops, everything like that. And I suppose in some respects, where Create and Craft was the journey, we all got used to going down that one road, and we forgot that there's roundabouts. We forgot that there was turnings rights or turning lefts. And we've got that opportunity back again, and see where it goes.
Yeah, and it's really nice that lots of people are. Did you find that lots of people are coming together and helping one another?
Lots of collabs going on. Lots and lots of collabs. That was a good thing.
Collaborations for anyone watching. Collaboration.
Lots of that between companies. Very, very much so, between designers with different companies, between design teams working for different companies but still staying with their main company. So there was lots going on. Obviously, the American viewpoint was slightly different to the European viewpoint, which was brilliant to hear and have those sort of discussions as well. That was really good.
Yeah, that's good to hear. It's good to hear, because I think it's important to help one another. Whether it's advice, you give me advice. I know that you work with PI, but you were kind enough the other week to come on my live when I was like a rabbit in the headlights. Still am.
You did very well, and they did brilliantly.
But and I just think that's important, because I think that's the future. That's the future.
It's also not making yourself seem like hello jazz hands sort of thing. I'm going to do a song and dance routine, but it's making yourself visible, and the work that you do visible as well. So sometimes that's easier said than done. My PC at the moment is being a little bit acting like a spoilt brat.
Well, you know what you need to do, don't you?
I'm not buying a Mac. But I do need a new computer, unfortunately. That's on my list of things to do. But no, it was good. I mean, some of the, do you want me to talk about some of the things I saw? Because don't forget, my view of creative world is going to be slightly different, because I'm also influenced by things that I love to do and I like to create with, as well as the different people we met, sort of thing. So the art companies were definitely my one place that I definitely went to, sort of thing.
Just to let people know, Lou, why you went there, and who you went there for, just to give us a little bit of insight as to, you know,
I went there.
Why you're going to talk about.
I went there with personal impressions, and we go to meet our suppliers as well as look at new suppliers, and also keep in contact with everything that's going on as well, sort of thing. So that was good. So I get to meet lots of companies or people that you go, oh, a couple of girly crushes that I actually get to meet and go, oh, sort of thing, which is brilliant. One of those was I had my Seth Apter moment, which is a big girly crush of mine. I've done loads of his courses.
He's amazing.
And then I know the Jelly Arts team back to front, but I got to have my little girly crush session with the Jelly Arts team, which is brilliant.
We'll get onto that in a moment. Let me write that down because that is something I want to chat with you about. Erica has just come in and she says, hello, Lou, and hello, Janice. Hello.
Hi, Erica.
Lots of people joining us now. Hello, Andrea. Lots of people talking about how, for example, another Nicholas said, from an outsider to the industry, I feel the platforms have come about due to the fallout of CNC. It's been positive. Yeah, it has been positive. I think, it's hard, but it's positive. So from that point set of you going out there and working for PI, what did you see? What did you go for?
Right.
What have you seen?
I go and have look, I was really good, and look how I wrote so many notes down.
You're a reporter. You've got to do this. You've got to go dum dum dum.
I know it. Well, also senior moments come into it as well. And I took something.
We'll both be all right then.
I just took shy of something like 1,000 photos and different videos and stuff like that sort of thing. Yeah, some of them are probably random if I shared them with people, but yeah. I mean, one of the things that came out, right, I'm going to look through my list. One of the things that was very big was repurposing. Now, not repurposing on the basis that we're going to get a piece of furniture and repurpose it, although that was featured in the ambient world.
Yes.
It was looking at repurposing and where, and I've never liked the comment where it's only a piece of card, bin it sort of thing. So what they're trying to say is don't think about it as a piece of card that you're going to bin. That's why acrylic paints are invented. That's why gesso's invented. Look at it and see what you can do it and repurpose your own piece of work and make it into something different. So make that the upcycling, whether it's you're adding embellishments. If it's an art journal page, tear it out of your art journal, cut it up into ATCs. So there was a lot about repurposing on, and looking at different work, things that we like or don't like, and trying them in a different way, die cutting, embossing, lots of things like that. So it was talking about using old things that we've probably made or we've got and bringing them in with new. So you could have a new die, so it was making sure that we're not forgetting what we've already got sitting in our cupboards. We're using both sort of thing. So that was a big point for me.
I'm a big fan of that, huge fan of that, because obviously, especially new to my card making and things like that, when things go wrong, I don't like throwing anything away. So I repurpose it. I'll rip it up, I'll shred it, I'll add some glue, stick it, collage it or something like that. Because I think sometimes, you make and create something and you just think to yourself, do you know what? For example, I did this earlier. I was just mucking about and I just threw it to one side and I thought, do you know what? Tomorrow I'm going to do something a little bit more with that. I don't know what it will be, but I'll do something else with that.
Completely.
So never throw anything away. So really, really good point. I like that.
And the other thing was, and I know for some people this is Marmite, art journaling and junk journaling were very big as well.
Okay.
But on the basis that I know a lot of people will say, why do you art journal? And we all art journal or we all junk journal for completely different reasons. And it was embrace those reasons. It doesn't have to be right. It doesn't have to be wrong. And it was, if you were new to art journaling, it was talking about how you could use your journal for color swatching. trying different color blends out, learning how to layer a stamp with color, collaging and things like that. So basically it was like you creating your own crafty encyclopedias, but that's junk journaling and your art journaling.
Very good.
That was really good to see.
So trying out. So again, I'm going to relate this to me, because it's all about me, you know. No, I'm just trying to relate it to me. I would use the junk journaling and journals to practice different techniques. If I didn't know how an ink pad worked, for example, and we'd been talking about inks, and you'd say, oh, give this a go, Janice, but I'm a bit unsure, I could do it in a junk journal, right at the side of it. That's a technique that I could use later on. But then you're creating art in the journal itself. I like that.
Completely.
I like that.
But then you could bring in things like ephemera pieces. You could bring in your tapes, your washies, your die cuts. And it was, you know, so you're trying out new techniques or new ideas that appeals to you.
Yes.
So you're not wasting products and stuff like that. And you then start developing your own style, or you discover something completely different. That was really good. That really enjoyed that.
It's almost like, Lou, would you say, after Christmas Day, you either have a buffet with all your food, or you repurpose it into Bubble and Squeak.
Yeah, or as my family seem to do, create the most weird and wonderful soups. Sort of thing. Some of the recipes we're never going to repeat again.
After the roast dinner?
Yeah.
A super.
Soup.
Oh my gosh.
Okay.
We'll leave that one there. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's good then. I like these. I like these so far.
Then there was a lot about colours were all over the spectrum. Every colour went. Metallic is really big, but not necessarily metallic as in not gaudy, but you know, in your face, bold, shiny, bright metallic. Sorry, my cushion's moved on my chair again.
That's all right. You go for it.
That side of using metallics. So you've got things like Cadence are bringing out what's called a matte metallic. So it'll have the feel and look of a matte, but it has a slight sheen to it, but it's not pearlescent. So it's seeing things like that.
That sounds good.
Yeah, and then a lot about nature colours, because obviously the Pantene colour of the year is brown, or a shade of brown.
Yes.
So it was lots about nature, heavily greens, oranges. You could say autumny colours, but they weren't. It was a mix sort of thing. If you went to Ambient World, all the flowers were very what I would call hot and tropical, and they look completely different sort of thing. But it was very much, so colours, very metallic there. A lot of things. One thing I did notice was on a lot of places, peel-offs are back, but not necessarily peel-offs with our sentiments, but peel-offs for ways of helping people who don't feel confident. I've just seen Alison's comment.
Yeah, I've just seen that. Everyone else watching. Alison says, not sure about sprouty stuffing soup. Well, that's one way to describe it.
Alison, neither mind. Pint of water does help. But peel-offs are back. Not necessarily peel-offs to do like where we had all the sentiments, but they were being promoted more about people who didn't feel confident stamping or drawing an image.
Okay.
But you've now could use a peel-off, so that could be a butterfly, a flower, a mandala, a house, whatever sort of thing. You could put that down onto your background, and then you could colour inside it.
No.
So
Interesting.
so it's a different way of creating, but you can still create layered looks as well, sort of thing.
I guess also with the peel-offs, if you were to make a pattern on a piece of paper, it's almost like using an embossing folder, because they would be raised, would they not?
Yes.
And then they could act like a resist or something. You could gesso all of those, which is taking us back all the way back to repurpose.
Completely. You can use peel-offs with your jelly plate as well. Just saying. But so peel-offs were back. What else was there? Let's have a look. Origami was big.
Was it?
Lots of origami.
I thought that folded a long time ago.
Dot painting, lots of dot painting, whether with paint or with markers.
Oh, I love is that the same as pointillism?
Yeah, but you know where you see the mandala patterns, and they use with paint, they'll use like embossing tools, and they'll get the very fine dots. But using markers, there's lots of markers out there now, so you can do dot painting with the markers. There's a mixture of paint markers,
Acrylic
What,
paint markers. I've
well,
got some.
watercolor ones as well, and I'm just trying to think of all the different types. So most markers were covered, so that was really good.
I've got one
Um,
here, but I can't find it because I was
and I
using
can't
them
see it,
today.
so I'll take your
Oh
word for
yeah,
it.
you can't see, can you? Oh, Lou, I'm looking hot
Fine.
tonight. Oh, you should see me. My hair, new
Got the
glasses.
Do you still have your little makeup bag beside you with your lip glosses in and stuff like that?
I'm now holding up my lip gloss and I'm applying it live on Facebook Live. You know me too well. There you go. You know me too well. Know me too
Um,
well.
the other thing that I spotted a lot of was sewing and painting. So
Okay.
there were already pre-cut things done that you could colour, and
Yep.
then what they did was showed you where you could take embroidery and add it to your painting, or it was encouraging you to take your own painting and then add embroidery. So I suppose it's a bit like you adding ribbon or lace or twine to something, but this
Nice.
time it's embroidery that you can add to it. And there were some really lovely, I fell in love more with the abstract ones,
Yeah.
because it seemed more
Mm.
natural. You just went with the flow.
I've got
And that
some
was very.
uh, on that point. I've got some paintings here by an artist called
I've
Andy
just seen
Nuttall.
Lillian's company comment.
Oh, sorry. Let me.
You've got to go back and see it.
Peel off some rub-ons. Need new paints. Yeah, I think they do. I think
Yeah.
they do. Well, they're not rub-offs.
No.
Carol Ann says, out of the negative of create and craft, positive lives have been sweeping onwards and upwards. So many people and companies are now free to no boundaries restricting them. It's both lovely and uplifting that you ideas are collaborating together. Yeah, it really is. Talking about the paintings, I've got some paintings here by an artist called Andy Nuttall, who's incredible. And I've got a huge picture painted of a sunfield flowers.
Yeah.
Sunfield flowers? Sunflower field, that will
Field,
do.
yeah.
With gems on. So when the light comes through, it hits the gems that are quite dark. They're in the middle. It's through the other room there. It's amazing. When the light comes in, it just fires it up.
Yeah.
It really is amazing. So things like that, it's interesting. It's interesting.
And that goes back to repurposing, or
It does.
repurposing something in a completely different way. Like you're talking about gems. All of us think gems is stick it in the middle of the flower, stick it on a butterfly, whereas suddenly they're a layer in a mixed media piece that you can either gesso or leave like that.
Interesting.
So it was very good, sort of thing, along those lines. The other thing that was really lots of clay, lots of different types of clay out there.
Love
A lot
clay.
of there were lots of molds out there, but a lot of encouraging to freeform clay, make your own shapes. And in the ambient world side of things, they really did embrace having, say, for example, a vase doesn't have to have perfect sides. It could have a thumbprint inside it. It could have little dents, and so it could be more natural, more free flowing. It could have beautiful sides as well, but it was just saying the sort of thing. If that's not your thing, that's nothing wrong with that either. But there was lots of things that you, didn't need smoothing out, and lots of texture added that way. That was really nice to see. What else did we see? Candle making.
I think individuality that would come into, would it not? And I think it's good because it's encouraging people, anybody to pick up art. You've never done it before, but it doesn't matter. Do you remember, Lou, the toadstools I made on that live? And that was literally, I mean, I know it caused a bit of chaos, one of them did, but that was literally me grabbing the clay and just squidging it, twisting it.
So there was lots of that free form. So using molds as well, but also adding your own little swirls and stuff like that. What else was there? Candle making was big as well. Lots of people doing candle making. Also piping with paint, icing bags, but piping with paint to create texture and layering. But there were some different products on which I'll come to.
Would that be paint that was quite thick?
Yeah,
you couldn't have runny paint. I mean, is there such a thing as thick paint and runny paint? I don't know. It depends what the outcome wanted to be.
Yeah, completely.
Hang on. Janie said, that's reminded me, Janice, you still need to make more models of Daisy and Purdy. That's her dogs. I've not
Yeah.
forgotten. Do you know what? I was thinking about that the other day. I'm going to go and buy some clay and I'll do that. I'll do that because I do enjoy working with clay.
Yeah.
I do. So, yes,
I mean,
Janie.
there are lots of different types out there, porcelain-based clays,
Yeah.
clays that we would think that were for everyday crafting,
Yeah.
but could also then go on to a potter's wheel. So they
I
could
remember.
be for crafters, or
Yes.
they could be used for potters and be fired. So that was really nice to see how, you know, embracing two different
Yeah.
styles with the one medium.
I remember at TV
Mm,
Land. Can't say the C word. No, I can. Back at C&C,
mm,
we had a brand from Europe called
mm,
Octoclay, and they used the clay to paint pictures.
mm.
It's very therapeutic,
Yeah.
but you could also use the clay to make like flowers and things like that. You know, something
There's
with
a
your
lady on
hands.
Instagram called Sarah Garth
Yeah,
who does that,
yeah,
and it will make clay and make pictures and then builds up from there, sort of thing. She's really good.
yeah,
I do like watching her. Clay's not, or resin. I haven't really gone down that avenue. I'm
yeah,
not sure I can add another thing to my
yeah.
bulging cupboards and everything like that sort of thing at the moment. But yeah, so there was lots of different themes along like that. So it was really nice to see. I mean, obviously the stands are all beautiful,
Yeah.
and lots of different things. The other thing that was a lot of and making a resurgence was our actual mats that we started out with before glass mats came along.
Okay, what sort of
Cutting mats.
mats?
You know, like our original cutting mats. I'm
Yeah,
trying to see if I've got one near me.
the
Um,
like the
like
soft
the green
ones.
ones,
Yeah, the green
the
ones. Got
plastic.
you.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
but most of them now are turning into eco-friendly versions because obviously you can't get. Yes, you can, Lou. So where they're upcycling plastics to make another plastic product, I
Yeah,
know, but a lot of plastics, that's what you have to do. There's no
yeah,
other way of really recycling certain types.
yeah.
But there were some genius ideas. I mean, um, we've got some mats coming anyhow, but there were some other genius ideas that they were taking a mat where lots of rubber stamps showing in Frankfurt as opposed to acrylic stamps.
Oh yeah, that's
Or
Carol
Carol,
Caroline.
Carol, that's on my list.
Okay,
Nag me, Carol, but that's on my list.
okay.
But yeah, so you would have, so where we've got a green mat, I'm trying to look to see where I've tidied up my green mat. It's somewhere. So where you'd have your original cutting mat, say,
Yeah,
what they're doing is they're looking at, not all of us have a huge space to work in. Okay, I've got a room, so I'm quite lucky.
yeah.
But so you would get your A3 mat, and on the back of it was felt, but that felt came out and that was actually heat resistant, so you could actually use it to cut material one side and iron. But
Ah,
then it went back underneath to store away nice and
got
neatly.
you.
And there were lots of different versions. There was round ones that rotated that could have mats on. So it was using things that rather than just say that's for paper crafting, that's for sewing, it was embracing the fact that maybe some of us do a bit of everything. And
Okay, that's a
now,
nice idea. Yeah.
yeah, so
Back to
now,
repurpose.
yeah, so now, you know, you don't always have the biggest space, and now I've got something that does two things at the same time. If I was doing sewing,
Yeah,
or I could use it for paper cutting, depends on what you want to do. So that was really, really nice, sort of thing.
very
And
good.
looking at it at, you know, in completely different ways. And I had an absolute, yeah, playing with all of these. That was brilliant, sort of thing. So yeah, so I thought I'd write down some of the companies, because obviously I went out to meet certain
Yeah,
companies and have a chat with them for certain things. I didn't get to meet everybody. I did go and walk the halls as much as I possibly could and go and have my little fix of my little crafty crush fix sort of
yeah,
thing. I did obviously have to go and see Seth. Did
yeah.
have to go and see Pete Hughes.
Yes. He was
Sort of
there. The jelly arts, just while we're touching on
mm,
that, I did
mm.
see a photograph, and I think it's your photograph, of little jelly art
That,
kits in bags. So everything you
that's
needed was
coming up.
in there. I think that's fabulous. That's coming up. I'll leave that for you to talk about.
Right.
Go on, off you go.
Okay, right. I'll go. Well, I might as well do Jelly Arts, as you mentioned. So
Yeah,
Jelly Arts, Luann at Jelly Arts had a lot of requests that for newbie people, it was where to start with a plate, what paints, you know, what brayers, what to do, and things like that. So the kits have come about. So they did 3 smaller kits
yeah,
last year, and one was like Christmas card, one was more art journaling, and I can't remember what the third one was. But they were more geared to those of us who possibly have plates already, and inside those kits was a different size plate and lots of ideas. And they started QR codes which go straight to certain videos to see how to use them to come up with different ideas. Now, the 3 kits I shared are brand new.
Okay.
And these are slightly larger kits. So in there, you will get everything to start from finish, which could be paint, sprayers, stencils, if it's painting, if it's 3D materials, plus a gel plate. Plus, you also get written instructions and a QR code that leads you off to 2 or 3 different videos to give you starting points. And one was called Blossoms Frameable, and it was looking at printing with flora and fauna, and how to do it slightly differently. And that's all in there. The other one was image transfer, so they've actually put images you can use to do transfers.
Excellent.
Yeah, I had a long chat with Luann about something that I can't really say much more than that about that sort of thing that we're working on.
Do you want to see
and then
my braille, Lou?
Well, I would love to, but I've got a black screen.
Oh, gosh, sorry.
I'll go back and have a look at your braille.
That's hilarious. I keep forgetting. Sorry, carry on.
I'll try and turn my PC on and see if I can see your braille. But yeah, so, and then the last one is called the journal kit. So what the journal kit is you get a little journal inside it, you'll get stencils, you'll get the plate that fits the journal, paints again, and other materials to mark make. And they're slightly bigger kits, and more experienced to beginners can use them straight away, and they've done special videos just for those kits. So it's not like they're repurposing an older video. All the videos are done for those actual kits, and they're due, I want to say, when are they due? I want to say April, off the top of my head. That's what I want to say.
Very good.
I could be completely and utterly wrong. Sorry, I'm just firing up my tablet just to see if I can see you with your braille.
Do you really want to see me? I don't know whether you do.
Wow. We'll see what the tablet does. So yeah, so Gelly Arts are doing a lot like that. They're looking at things like a little bit more inspiration with the perfect placement tool, and how you can use that a little bit more. Not everybody wants to just put their piece of paper down and have random pieces. Some people do like to have a board around. So lots of inspiration with that. So yeah, the Gelly Arts one. And then I was obviously talking to Bridget and to Tanya, sort of thing, my little crafty crushes, and catching up with them. So yeah, lots happening with Gelly Arts going forward.
Nice.
So that was brilliant. Who else did I talk to? Royal Talons, obviously, because being a little bit of a Sakura fan. They've got different things happening with the Sakura pens. And they brought out a new Sakura pen that's called Sakura Clickable. So where we're used to like a biro that clicks. So these are called Sakura Clickable, and they're more for the stationery market to go with their journals. And they are still going to be the glazes, the metallics, the souffles, the sparkle pens. Hi, Charmaine.
Hi, Charmaine. Yes, I've just seen Charmaine joining. And
I know. And hi, Dominique. And so they're called clickables. So they're using them like we would see in a pencil case and things like that. But it's still using all the jelly roll things, pens that we love, but with different finishes. And they formulated the ink a little bit better because it's not a little bit better. They formulated the ink because it's a clickable pen, i.e. you can click it open. And normally with a jelly roll, if you leave the lid off too long, it'll go crusty on the end, and then it can make it hard to work. Whereas they've done it so if you do leave it open, you don't click it back closed, it's not going to dry.
That is very good, because I do have some crusty ones in my pencil case. But I won't show you those.
Okay, use isopropyl with those.
Okay. Writing that down.
Yeah, basically, if you've got a spell it IT. If you've got a gel, I mean, here's me now going for my jelly roll. If you've got a jelly roll, mine's clear. Always wipe the end. I use the back of my hand, but you really shouldn't. But if you dip the nib in, I'm going to do that. If you dip the nib into isopropyl, the stuff we did for hand gel, but only dip it in for like go 1, 2, 3,
Yeah.
take it out and then scribble.
Yep.
1, 2. All you're doing is slowly melting any gunk on the end, but you need to be a bit patient with that.
Now I know how to melt my gunk and uncrust my pen.
Yeah. Basically, alternatively, you could try just putting it on a radiator and see if that would work as well. So there's either way.
Fabulous.
So yeah, and they brought out new journals, the Sakura journal. So obviously they had the black and the cream. They've now brought out like a dot journal, a graphic journal, i.e. like a maths book.
Yeah.
And they've also brought out a line one. So that was really cool. I had I've already got mine to have a little play with already, sort of thing.
Excellent.
I'm not allowed to show you them because
not?
obviously no. I got told.
Okay. Hello, Linda. Linda's just joined us. She says hello, Janice and Lou. Isn't this interesting, everyone? Isn't it interesting? If you've got any questions for Lou, we're trying to cover everything or almost everything. I think we probably need 2 shows actually. But this is it's very, very informative, which I think it is fabulous. It's fabulous. So yeah, carry on, Lou.
So it was so they've got some new bits and pieces coming out with the Brunzanil range, the Amsterdam range, and talking about Amsterdam, links onto the collab they did with Sizzix with Pete Hughes.
Yes.
So anyone who's got the stamping platform that Sizzix did, basically they've created a new part on it.
Okay.
And it then fits the stencil part that you can do. So if you've got the Sizzix stamping platform, you probably know what I'm talking about. Yeah. But what that's done is that has raised it, which means you can now put an art journal in, which means you can now put your stencils on top and use your paints and everything like that, which was really nice. And Pete was demoing that, and it was great to catch up with him and have a good chat with that. So that was a collab, and that's using the Royal Talens Amsterdam paint with Sizzix. So that was really good. So it was a way of trying to embrace stamping platforms and use them in different ways. So you could do your art journaling, you could do whatever mixed media techniques you wanted to, and bring in your paint now, not just your ink and everything like that. So
Charmaine said I'm really quiet. I don't know why. I'm just going to lift my phone up a little bit. It should be hearing me through my headphones, but sorry if I'm a little quiet. I'll try and speak up. Lou can't see me, but you can hear me. Okay.
I can hear you.
Yes.
I can hear you.
When the gel items come out, where can you buy them out of interest? So we don't want to see them just yet, but when they're coming out, where can we buy them? Or is that top secret as well?
No, that's not top secret. It will be on Personal Impressions. Will be one place, but there'll be other places as well.
Okay.
There will be other places as well. Something, so they're coming out and doing that way. Okay, DecoArt is an American paint company.
Yes.
We'll probably know DecoArt from Americana. Yes. So let me think if I got DecoArt bottle. I've got a whole wall of DecoArt and then a whole wall of plaid and then a whole.
I've got some somewhere.
We mainly call them for the Americanas.
Yes.
So the so DecoArt have brought out a new. It's not a medium, but it's not a liquid either, and it's called Make Marker or Marker Maker, whichever way around you want to do. Yeah. And the idea behind it is that they are going to supply empty barrels, and it's using the paint you've got. You mix a little bit of this medium with it. I had great fun with it. Great fun. And you then make your own acrylic paint pens with all the paint colors you've got.
Yeah.
So you now can make a paint pen, and they'll supply all the nibs and everything like that. So there'll be a bullet nib and there'll be a chisel nib, and you've now created your own using your paints. Obviously they're hoping you're going to use DecoArt paints, but then it'll work with any acrylic paint.
Interesting.
That was really cool to be able to mix that and then create your own paints with your own colors. So you could then technically do like make your own pearlescent if you mix a normal acrylic with a metallic, and you've created then your own paint pens that way for the color palettes you like.
That'd be good.
And stuff like that. Yeah. And then they've got another really cool product. So much so, I think I stood there for about 10 minutes watching the same video loop round.
Yeah.
So, not because I was absolutely fascinated, because the first time I watched it, I was like, no. You know when you think video trickery. So I stood there for 10 minutes, and Stacey, who's I've met loads of times, was looking at me going, "You all right?" And I'm going, "Yeah, yeah, no, I'm fine." I'm
Watching it on
mesmerised.
loop.
Yeah, and what it was it's called I'm trying to think. I had to write it down because I couldn't remember the name of it. It's called Retikit, and it is actually a wood-based paint. So it's made with normal acrylics and the binder, and
Yeah.
so your pigment and your binder, but it's also got a high percentage of wood in it. And what it does is it turns any object, paper, card, metal, plastic, anything like that, wood. Now, it's not talking about you can use wood graining tools, but it's not. You put it on and it looks like wood.
So I wonder if this, if, do you spell it Reteak as in Teak, as in teak wood? Do you think?
No,
No.
it's Retique.
Ah, right. Okay, so it's like technique, isn't it?
Yeah. And it's a wood-based paint. So it, like I said, the first time I saw it, I just thought, oh, it's someone using, brown paint with a wood graining tool. The skepticism in you sort of thing. You just go, yeah, I've seen that. But it's not. It's where it's got the wood particles. I mean, I don't know how the formulated they do it, but it goes on, and you don't have to use a wood graining tool if you don't want to, but you can. And you can turn anything to actually have a true natural wood effect. And I watched this loop go around, the same video go around for about 10 minutes. And he went, "You're still not quite sure, are you?" And I went, Then they showed me the different samples that they had made. And they had like this metal cup. And half of it was metal and the other half was wood. And you just go, oh.
Amazing.
Yeah, it was really, really amazing. So that was really good.
Not like in the old days when you were at school and used to put wood chip wallpaper on your books. It's not like that.
No, not quite like that, no. And they've got a product also called Make It Thick, which goes back to turning an acrylic paint into like an impasto, a nice thick paint, which you can then do into your icing bags and do all the piping. You can use a palette knife. Yeah, so what it is taking all the paints you may have in your cupboard already and adding the medium to it. And then suddenly you can still keep it as a normal acrylic, but you could add a bit of medium to it, and suddenly now it makes it thicker. So if you wanted to do like impasto techniques, you could do that. You could put it into they were really big into putting it into icing bags and piping it and everything like that sort of thing. That's how they visualized it. And then it dries absolutely solid. Because I was a bit skeptical again, because I said, because it's like an acrylic and you've made it thick, will it mean that the outside will have a hard shell? And then if you pushed your finger really in, it would be soft, sort of thing. And no, I was literally pushing my finger in just to double check, sort of thing.
Do you know what? That's a really good point, because that's what normally happens if you get acrylic and you try and work with it, with a palette and things like that. When you go back to it, you go, oh, this looks, and then it just all squirts everywhere, and you're like, oh no. So that's it. I'd like to work with something like that, especially like with a palette knife.
And then they released last year, which, I mean, I've got a set. I think mine are up on the top shelf there, and they're called Deco Earth. They are acrylic paints made from recycled paint.
Acrylic paints made from recycled paints.
So they take from DIY, so the paints we put on our walls, our doors, everything, to crafting. And what they do is, again, I don't know the science or the chemistry of it, put it all together, and they have to put a new binder in, obviously, after they've cleaned it all and stuff like that. So between 75 and 80% of it is recycled paint. And it's called Deco Earth.
Very good.
So it's trying to find a different way to do that. Now, the only thing with it is, because of it, that they're not adding extra pigments to make it bright and shiny. They are literally making it like Deco Earth. So it is like having earthy colours, sort of thing. So it looks... sounds like it works like an oil paint that holds its structure. Yeah, Joe, that's a really good description. That is a good,
very good.
So that was really nice to see and have a play with that. So I enjoyed that. And then where we go from Ranger, I had a lovely chat with Ranger guys. The guy Alan from Ranger, who owns Ranger, is about, well, I know I'm only 5'1". I mean, he's like about 6'6" sort of thing. So the conversation is like something. He's really, really tall. And then Steve, the other guy, is equally as tall,
Wow.
sort of thing. So they were talking about different things that they've got coming up with Ranger and all the different launches. Obviously, Tim is pulling back on designing, and he's going to be more about education and showing you how to use all the different stuff that we've all got a little bit more, but also digging back into the archives of some of the older products that he brought back out, things like Grunge Board. I used to love, I loved Grunge Board. I mean, it's chipboard with a difference, really. And the different things are the panels, the art panels, U-pose and things like that. And then obviously there's new things from Dina, Diane, and obviously Simon. Simon collabs a lot with Spellbinders for his dies. And Diane did last year. She did outline dies for some of her stamps as well. So that was really interesting hearing about some of the things. Ranger are very secretive. So they let you know so much, and then the rest is secret. So for anybody who doesn't know about a Ranger launch, what happens is, I'll give you a bit, then you might understand, Janice will understand what I'm talking about, why it's like mad panic. So Ranger, for example, when they launched Scorched Timber, the last colour, what happens is suppliers will get an email literally 2 weeks before launch. That's as much notice anyone gets. Doesn't matter the size of company, it doesn't matter how much you buy, everybody gets it 2 weeks before, and you get told what you can say, what you can't say, what you can share, what you can't share. It really is prescriptive, and you have to sign your life away near enough. It's very, very secret squirrel, and you then have to order, and then you can only launch on a set date at a set time. So you've literally got 2 weeks to do your ordering, get it over from the States, and then get it out to other people as well. It really is, sort of thing. Grunge Board has a distinct crafty smell. Yeah, it does, Cass. It does.
That's interesting. But it's good that you got to meet them and you got some information. Some you can share, but at least we know there's new things coming out. So again, it's a positive. You know, there's lots of different. I mean, I've been using the. In fact, I'm going to ask you a question because I've been using the Distress Oxides. With you know, really great effect, but just indulge me for a minute. The Distress inks, I can't use water with them, can I?
You can still do the same reactive techniques.
Oh, they've not been reacting in the same way.
They're dye-based inks, right? Okay, Distress inks, are you using them with your oxide?
No, I'm just putting them straight on the paper and giving them a squirt.
Well, they should be, then it might be your paper, not the ink.
Okay, that's all I need to know about that.
Sort of thing. Yeah, it could be your like new trainers. Yeah, it does have that sort of smell. Well, this is new trainers, Charmaine, not old ones.
Crikey, can you imagine?
Well, and I remember my sons playing different sports and the bag living outside the back door. And horrible. But yeah, so then we went off, got obviously Sizzix. I had to have my little girly crush with Seth, which was lovely. Do like Seth. So then went off to see lovely meeting with the people from Kuretake, who are the Japanese brand, and we'll probably know them for Zig and Winkostella and Gansai Tambai. So they have got 24 new Gansai Tambai metallic paints coming out. Oh,
are they nice?
They're lovely. And they've got a new one within it called Go Fun White, and it is literally Go Fun White. But it's a white paint that's made with recycled like oyster shells. So it's not a true white, so it's a little bit more transparent, but it has a really lovely soft white effect with that little opal pearlescent sheen to it. So they've got 24 new colours of that coming out, and they've also got new colours of their granulated watercolours. Now, if no one's got the Gansai Tambai granulated, they're a learning curve. But they are a really cool learning curve. They are a watercolor pan, and when you watercolor them, and you put them onto your paper, they create lots of different effects. So they'll split into different colors. They're really, really nice. So they've got 6 new colors coming out for them. They just recently brought out 20 new Zig pens, the Zig clear color. and they're not releasing them as a set. They're releasing them as single pens, because they know a lot of people have already got a lot of the Zig colours, so therefore you can pick your favourite ones to fit in amongst the sets you've got. So rather than reinvent the wheel and do a set and people then wonder where they fit in, so they've got those. They've got some lovely blues in that. They really have. They've also brought some dot markers out, and they're more watercolour based. But they, once they're dry, they're a little bit more permanent than a watercolour. They're sort of thing that they're really, really good. And they've brought out, I think it's been out in the States more so than it has in here, but they've got all the Gansai colours, so there'll be the 100 colours, and it comes in a beautiful wooden box. And that's a new presentation one, something. And we got given a demonstration, because obviously the way the Japanese do their ink, and it was so they have a wet stone, so you wet the stone with the tiniest bit of water, and your ink is a solid block, completely solid, and you just draw onto the where you've got the little bit of water, and then they've got those beautiful, haven't they, big paintbrushes, and you pick up the color that way, and they're explaining it and how the paper was made. It was absolutely fascinating. Because they have a significant birthday next year, and you know, we're talking about it, and it's a limited edition and stuff like that. And he said to me, well, would you buy one? And I went, yeah, until I heard it was like £3,000, and then I thought, okay, maybe not. But it was lovely. Thank you very much for sharing how it's all done and all the different techniques.
£3,000 for what? For the actual
that little kit, yeah, with all the little bits and pieces in. Sort of, because it's special. It's this ink is made in a completely special way, sort of thing. But it was beautiful. There's a lovely story behind it, because you've got the bit of the culture. You've got the story about how it, you know, how it's gone back centuries and centuries and everything like that. It was really, really fascinating and interesting to listen to, and obviously you've got the visual to see it as well. So
can I just say thank you to everyone in the chat as well, because people are asking questions about
Grunge Board.
About Grunge Board, and everyone's answering, Alison and Joe Ward. So that's fantastic. You keep chatting away, and if there's any questions again for Lou, just flag them up. This is so interesting, and lots of people are saying, Lou, that they're so glad that they've joined this live. Again, this live will be available to watch afterwards. I'm putting it on Facebook. I'll also put it on YouTube as well, because it's just there really is so much to talk about. This is just one part
completely
of what's going on.
So on your birthday wish list, Charmaine, I mean, I can imagine now for my 60th sort of thing, saying to the lads, by the way, lads, this is what I'd really, really like. I can't see that something sort of thing. So no, they're planning different stuff anyhow, which makes me worried. So when obviously I am very much into paints and stuff like that, so I loved meeting all these people. Plaid are another American company, and you'll think more of Plaid, Apple Barrel, Folk Art, their sort of paints, but they also Plaid do Mod Podge. So they make Mod Podge, and they brought out a new Mod Podge called Mod Podge Texture. So they have got
Mod Podge for anyone, you know, because I know that we've got.
It's essentially a glue that does so many different things. So you can use it with your rice papers, your tissue papers, collaging. You can use it as a sealer. You can do, there's Mod Podge dishwasher sort of thing.
So dishwasher. Put in the dishwasher to wash your dishes.
Yep. So I did it on a vase, and you put it in. So mine sort of thing. Night, Charmaine. I know you're up really, really early, aren't you? Bless her.
Night, Charmaine.
And so Mod Podge dishwasher, you can do that. I use a Mod Podge.
When you say, Lou,
Lucy, the Kuretake stand is beautiful, isn't it?
When you say dishwasher, you mean put it on something, so you put it in the dishwasher. You don't put it in the dishwasher to wash your pots.
No. It's you take an item and you make it waterproof. So something like a piece of bisque pottery, you could cover it with a Mod Podge. A glass, you know, like you see people do decorative glasses, drinking that. So now things sort of thing.
Wow.
If you have time, can you mention rubber acrylics? Yeah, it's on my next one, Carol. I'm going down my list. I have been really good. I'm going down my list, ticking.
Okay.
So they've got one now called Mod Podge Texture. So that they have got one that we keep saying to them that we all laugh over here in the UK, and they don't understand because it's called Mod Podge Stiffy, and it's what the idea behind it is just stiffens fabric really at the end of the day.
Of course.
Um,
What else would it stiffen?
and yeah, Jill, I agree with you. The one with the glitter flakes on is brilliant. You don't need much of it at all. So the idea behind it is where would you would stiffen a material for sewing. This is more about you helping to stiffen a material for your mixed media projects. However, until it goes off, that material still stays pliable.
Yeah.
So it could wrap around anything. But once it's gone off, it completely stiffened and stuck in place. It's a really weird texture to feel about it, because you still get, so they were doing it with lace, so you still get the delicate feel of the lace, but it's not moving.
Wow.
Sort of thing, and it's got a texture on top of it. It was really cool. The other thing, they're bringing out their own resin, obviously.
Okay.
And they brought out an aerosol version of Mod Podge, and the reason they did it was they had a lot of feedback that for people who were, say for example, doing something that was circular, or a pot or anything like that, sometimes actually trying to go round it, it was really hard. It could be runny if you put too much on. So the idea is you can now spray it and then like dip it in your glitter.
That's good.
Or dip it in things like
Very
that.
good.
So and they've got them in their matte, and they've got them in the gloss, and stuff like that. So they've got the aerosol versions of it. They're also doing their own version of a piping paint, but they've already pre-made theirs because they wanted it to do something a little bit different again. So similar to before, they've got out now, they've tweaked with their glass paints, because some of the feedback from the glass paints was it was great working on glass paints when it was flat.
Yes.
But not everything is flat, so it's not easy to hold something down like a glass vase, for example. But now they've done it so that you can do your glass painting and it won't run.
That's very good.
They've formulated that and how to go with that.
Good.
Also, folk art painting, which is, if anyone follows Liz Wheeler, you'll know that she does folk art painting, and there's lots of examples of that on her page. So if you're not sure what I mean, if you go and see what Liz Wheeler does, you'll get what I mean.
Is that with like a dark black background, and then there's lots of flowers, almost like canal boats? And
that's it's slightly different to the two-stroke painting that Stephanie does. So it's completely different, similar techniques, but slightly different.
It's interesting because I've got 2 silver stags, and I want to paint them black, and I want to do some folk art painting on them. So I need to find out how to do that. So I'll go and have a look at Liz Whelan's page.
Sort of thing, because she breaks it down, and she's got some beautiful stencils and like stamp ideas to help you do all the different steps as well. So that's making apparently quite a big resurgence in the US. I hasn't really made it over here as yet, but they were just letting us know. And then they've been working with a crochet company.
Okay.
And their upcycling, repurposing is looking at making t-shirt yarn. So from t-shirts, making yarn that's still soft and you can crochet from it, sort of thing.
Nice.
That's
good
from
idea.
There.
Repurpose
So that
again.
was good.
Repurpose.
So good purpose. Going back to Red Rubber, to Carol, yes, Paper Artsy were obviously on there with their red rubber stamps with both Seth and Kate Crane were both demoing for Paper Artsy. There was lots of red rubbers stamps around, as well as clear. Red Rubber being embraced, because obviously Ranger do grey over red, but actually they'll be going to more red than grey, because grey is harder to get nowadays. So that you've got a lot more people doing that because of different techniques. So using it more with paint. I mean, my red and grey rubber stamps sort of thing are probably not very well looked after, because I know I don't need to, which sounds horrible to them really, compared to if I use paint with a clear stamp, I would wash it straight away. And same with a gel medium or anything like that.
And that's because you want to see through it. It's not necessarily the fact that it's going to destroy the stamp, because there are some very, I mean, I'm not going to boast about mine, but I know that the stamps that I get white labeled, I know that they're fabulous for lots of different techniques, but it's the fact that I want them see-through because of the placement. But I guess with the red rubber and the grey rubber, that's not so important. So if you didn't want to clean it,
well, you can still do a lot of placement with red rubber and grey rubber, because a lot of manufacturers put the detailing on the back, and nowadays they so close to the edge.
Yes.
I went to see some stamps being made, red rubber stamps being made, just to see the whole process of it, and it's absolutely fascinating process. Completely
Interesting, isn't
different.
it?
Yeah,
Interesting.
completely different. So yeah, there was lots of red rubber, lots of grey, well, mainly grey rubber, being used in lots of different ways, combining with lots of people were using the rubber stamps with things like MDF
Yep.
and wood products, and stuff like that. So that was really, really good. Had to go and have a chat with Marlene, obviously, from Art
Obviously.
by Marlene. She was just demoing up like a storm. The woman doesn't stop. Like she genuinely like, cheers, sort of thing. She doesn't, and then all of a sudden she'll stop and put like that, and she has a chat with you, sort of thing. But then it's like, yeah,
Very
just
good
goes.
impersonation.
Yeah, but she really did something. It's fascinating.
Yeah.
But she was showing off lots of all the new cards and stuff, and all her collage that's coming out, and all the different layering, which I believe Leonie's brought some of it today.
Yes.
I want to say on Hobby Maker. It's either
Good.
today or tomorrow. Maybe I'm wrong. I can't remember.
I'm not sure.
I've lost this week because Creative World used to run from Saturday to Tuesday, but
Yeah.
this year they've done it Friday to Monday.
Right.
So it just feels
Friday to
really
Monday.
bizarre, sort of thing.
Yeah. I bet it just throws you a little bit,
Yeah,
doesn't it?
completely.
Yeah.
So she was doing lots of bits and pieces. I went off and saw Katie Sue,
Yes.
Craft Consortium,
Yes.
All and Create were there,
Yes.
Abs was there and his team. So it was great.
Do a bit
It
of
was
networking.
today. Oh, thank you, Kay. I'm not losing it too much then. So that was, there was lots of companies
Yes.
from the UK there as well.
Yeah.
Arden, who are part of Gemporia,
Yes.
were there releasing theirs. So that was great. And then the other place that I spent a long time in
It's the
was
pub.
Christmas World.
I'm
Well,
joking.
no, well, there were 1 or 2 beverages had, because I did go
I
off and
think I
watch
saw some pictures of beers.
that was me watching the rugby in the Irish bar.
Very good. Very good.
Need
And you,
mask.
absolutely. And you went to Christmas World as well. So I suppose that was very busy and full of lots of
Right.
ideas.
Yeah, Christmas World. Yeah, it's Christmas World goes over 3 halls.
Wow.
And it's split into different parts of it.
Yeah.
And then there's different floors as well.
Gosh.
And yeah, it's split. But Christmas World was you did have all the traditional things that we know
Yes.
and love.
Yeah.
Like your normal reds and greens. LeBlanche, yeah.
Oh yeah, Kate said she saw LeBlanche in Christmas World.
Yeah.
Oh, I wish I'd have gone now. I could have come round with you and we could have had a beer in the
Yeah.
Irish bar together.
Yeah.
I should have gone, but oh well.
Yeah, we thought we'd sneaked into the bar to go and watch the rugby, sort of thing, to hear behind us, oi, 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 and it was the 2 lads from Creative,
Yes.
and then the Cadence crew, and then there was one of the guys from Crafters Companion as well, so they all had sneaked around to watch the rugby as well, sort of thing.
Brilliant.
So Christmas World, yeah, you had all the tradition and everything like that, but then there was a whole wave of white. Now I'm not talking about stark white, very soft white sort of thing. And whites with silver, whites with gold, whites with natural wood, whites with dried flowers, like from years gone by. So this was in Christmas World.
And this is going to be, I guess, the trend for next Christmas.
Well, this Christmas, people who will be buying Christmas will have bought Christmas now already.
That's what I mean, this Christmas.
Yeah.
So it's almost going to be like, I guess, like Nordic, like not Arctic, but like, you know, like a snow world.
Okay, Mandy, I'm just looking at your message now. Give me 2 seconds.
Oh, she's gone. She's probably taken herself off. I think somebody was messages. Hello, Mandy. Don't know if you're getting my message. So I'm just going to bring Lou Sims back on again. Here we go. Let's approve. Let's send get her back up. Oh, it says unable to add guests, Lou. I don't know what you've done. Let me just approve that. I'm going to send the invitation again. It says unable to join. Probably your Android phone. Is it in landscape portrait? I'm not sure. I'll try again. Let's go into that. Let's see if we can see our Lou. and try and approve her again. No, I can't add you, Lou. I don't know why. I wonder why. Close your app, come back into it, try that. Isn't this fascinating though? Hearing all of these things, all the new trends that are coming out, all the different ways that you can craft, that you can repurpose your crafting items. Like, you know, even if it's just something simple, like a piece of paper that you put together, you've got some art on it, you're not too keen on it, rip it up, repurpose it and do something different with it. Art journals, really popular. Lots of people do art journals and junk journals. It's a great way of relaxing, great way of getting everything that's up here out on paper and being creative. Peel-offs are huge, which is brilliant. Peel-offs, you know, we know that the rub-ons and rub-offs were really popular, but now peel-offs are too. Let me see. Yes, it is the beauty of technology. Let's approve and send that invitation again. No, it still says I can't add you at this time, Lou. I can see that you're back. If you could just tap on the icon, Lou, if it's there for me, and I'll try and get you back on. I know we've been here for an hour and a quarter. It's been fascinating though, hasn't it? Fascinating. If we can't add Lou, what we're going to have to do is get Lou back and just talk about loads of other stuff again. So Lou, if you've got the icons at the bottom of the screen to press, do tap on that. And if I can't I can see that you're in the chat, but I can't see to get you up again. If I go through my people on here, no, you're not there, Lou. I think you need to. I think it's the Android. I think it's the Android playing up. It seems to be the way with a lot of people that have Android phones. But we'll try and deal with that if we can. So Lou, I'll just ask you again if you can. I've got my computer on, so if you can't get on, you can always. More helping me to. Okay, yeah. Hi Lou, can you? It's that tappy typewriter again. Press. Oh, you've pressed it. I can't see it. No. Let me take the request off. Let me put it back on. I can't. Ah, there you are. Let me add you that way. Send invitation. I'm sending you an invitation. Looks like it's adding. So we can get Lou. Yeah, there you go. Yay, Lou's coming back on. Brilliant.
Isn't that bizarre? Isn't that really bizarre? Because when someone had to send me an urgent message about work. Sorry.
Oh, right, sorry.
And I forgot that if I pressed it, I should have looked on my tab and I could have got it. But
worry.
now, isn't it? I could see you and everything like that. But now you've gone back to a black screen. Isn't that really weird? But anyhow.
It must be Android.
Yeah.
Lou, I don't want to keep you too much further because I've kept you here for an hour and a quarter, which I could stay here all night and talk to you. So first of all, Lou, we've got to do this again.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, we must do this again maybe next week.
Yeah.
So we can revisit and re-talk about different things, and people can join in as well, because it's been absolutely fascinating. But before you left us, we were talking about Christmas World and the whites that are coming in and things like that. So that was something that was interesting.
Yeah, white. So white with silver, white with gold, white with wood, white with natural things like natural dried flowers. That was very big. And then you went completely contrast.
Yes.
And it was mad iridescence.
Oh, interesting.
But I'm talking about like a whole tree, every decoration, absolutely everything on it being completely iridescent.
Wow.
Something you couldn't, completely, which was really like whoa sort of thing. You didn't really need lights on it, put it that way. And then you had a little bit of pastels were in there as well. The other thing for Christmas World, it was houses, any house. And it didn't have to be an alpine house. It didn't have to be a gingerbread house. It was, again, looking at the houses that technically, if you took any snow away, it could be there all year round.
Isn't it interesting how, I mean, I'm fascinated with houses and buildings. When I was back at college and I was doing my exams,
Yeah.
O levels back then in drama, I did set
O
design,
levels.
and I did a New York set design
Mm,
because I've always been fascinating, and that's what I doodle. I
mm.
doodle houses. I doodle city scenes, but houses of the popularity
Yeah.
of houses over the past year or so, especially last year, was just incredible. So many people using them.
And it was really nice to see that the houses weren't, yeah, some were heavily Christmas scenes, obviously,
Yeah,
but others you could completely, if you hadn't put the white around the roof, say, you could have had that out all year round, if that
yeah,
makes sense, sort of
yes, of
thing.
course it does. Of course it
And
does.
because of that, there was lots of scene building. So it was like taking your house, and it was your house, but then you added elements to it that would make it Christmas, took them away, added elements to it, and it could be a summer's day. So it's
Nice.
repurposing again.
Yeah,
So it's making one thing last as long as you want it to be, not just for that one thing.
yeah,
That was really good. What else? Big, big, big about making and decorating your own embellishments and Christmas
okay,
stuff. Really
yes,
big about that.
yeah,
And lots of different things. So glitter. Not a glitter person. Ooh. And I'm not like Dawn Wheeler, who just doesn't. It's not. It just. Yeah, I'm not a glitter person. It just gets everywhere, and I just remember it from school, and it was just like little pieces. Felt like shards of glass.
yes.
Um, but yeah, so doing your own painting onto baubles, hand painting baubles,
Mm.
not necessarily, no, abstract patterns as well, and flocking and everything like that. Lace, again, like I said, it was very big, covering baubles in lace and things like that. Ribbons, though, very interestingly, because I thought, oh, okay, ribbons were quite plain. There were some patterns, but
Yeah,
on the whole, that they were quite plain, quite staid designs, and it was very, very more solid colours
mm.
than it was patterns. I don't know whether this is the trend that you can use things for more than one purpose.
Interesting.
Yeah,
Do you know,
but
Lou, it's so
yeah,
fascinating. I
yeah.
wish I'd have
Oh,
gone,
you should.
but I think
Yeah, you'd have loved it.
yeah,
You would have loved
I
it.
probably would have been absolutely exhausted because knowing me, I'd have just carried on walking around all day. I'm
I
the
would
sort
have
of person
dreaded
that,
it because you'd have had that
uh,
selfie stick out taking
oh,
videos the whole time,
oh,
and we'd
all
have
the
been leaving
time.
you.
I would. You know I would. I'm the sort of person when I go on holiday, I'll look at the first restaurant and I'll go, not quite sure. I'm not quite sure if the atmosphere's right or the menu. And I'll
Yeah,
go around the whole of the resort. And guess where I end up back? Always at the first
yeah.
restaurant. But I've got to go and check the
You,
rest out. So
yeah,
that's what I would have
you
done
sound just like my husband. Read every single menu, everything like that. Go round everything, and we get back to the first one, sort of thing.
all the
Yeah,
time, all the time.
and he's like that
Um,
with white goods as well. And I have to say, no, one shop only. A washing machine
well,
looks like a washing machine. It doesn't matter which shop you go into. It's still white. Got a door thing. Put the clothes in. Bosh.
well, to be true to my word about going around the houses and coming back to the right thing, I'm going to come back to repurpose, and I
Yeah.
would like to repurpose this, and
Okay.
I'd like
Cool.
to come back to this, Lou. So if we
Yeah.
can get you booked in for next week, because I'm
Yeah.
sure we've still got so much more to say, and you'll probably go away and think, should have said that, should have said that, because there's so much to talk about.
Yeah.
Lots
And
of people coming in now talking about glitter being the devil's work. No, the devil's dandruff. Very good.
yeah, and what I'll try and do is I'll try and get some of the photographs up on my PC, and I can turn my phone around and you can see them.
Yeah.
And you can see some of the stands and some of the
Yes.
inspiration.
Yeah. Let's
Obviously,
make
I
that work.
zoomed in certain parts,
Yeah.
but I can, yeah. So you can get to see a little bit
Okay.
of what I've seen. I know I did some reels on my Instagram,
Yes.
um, which gives you an overshot. But yeah, there's lots
Okay.
of different things to see and do. Yeah,
Well, maybe for next week then I'll get my software up and running. I still
mm.
need to jump into it, restream. So probably we could use that and we could bring
Yeah.
your photos in. It's just that I've really enjoyed using this just
No,
natural way of Facebook. It's
no,
just such a lovely way of doing it.
no,
Um, and,
I'm with you.
and can I say you have had a halo above your head
I like.
for the whole of the time, and so you should, because you are Saint Lou.
That's my new light for when I do filming, Steve. It's I'm sure I could get a tan underneath it. I can't really because it's an LED light, but it just feels that bright sort of thing. I've got another one just there,
Yes.
and
Very
and
good.
sort of thing. And there, so I can video when I do my videos, when my
Brilliant.
editing my videos with a poorly computer isn't so good.
No,
It's just I've got two different areas in my craft space that I can work. So
brilliant.
because I've got a window in front of me and it
Yeah,
can be too blinding, and I've got another window that side, but then I can work in, and then obviously I've got lights.
all the way around. Well, listen, Lou, you have been amazing.
No,
Thank you
thank
so
you
much for
very much for
tonight.
asking.
It's been fascinating, absolutely fascinating. Lots of people have said it was fascinating as well. I'll put this onto Facebook. People can watch it again. They can fast forward it. They can pause it. They can do what they want. It's also going on YouTube as well. So lots and lots and lots of information to divulge and to digest. What we'll do is we'll do this again next week, because I'm sure there's so much more to talk about. I love it. I love it. Learning about new things. It's really important. So Lou, can I say a huge thank you?
Thank you for asking. Thank you.
And did you say your husband was the Arsenal fan?
No, he's not really into football, more rugby.
Who's the
No,
Arsenal
my
fan?
father.
Can I just apologise to him right now?
Oh, are they losing?
No, we're going to be playing you on,
Oh, no,
on
no.
Saturday.
Let's say if they were losing, I was going to quickly drop him a text in a minute.
No, Arsenal are coming to the King Power. So I'm being very brave here, and I'm just saying I apologise to your dad, because
no, listen.
I don't
No
think we
worries
will,
from me.
but we'll try.
No worries from me.
Lou, thank you so much. Everyone is saying thank you as well. You know, I really, really appreciate the time and effort you put into this. It's been amazing.
I had to write it down because I would forget.
Yeah. All right, Lou. I'll message you in the next day or so.
Okay,
we'll
cool.
get something set up for next week. But in the meantime, thank you so much, Lou.
Thank you.
Are you doing any lives or anything? Have you got your stamp range out or whatever in the next few days?
I haven't at the moment. No. Something doing a poorly computer, it makes it a little bit hard to do different things at the moment, sort of thing. But I have got things coming up on the cards. Yeah, doing different things. Yeah.
So you'll be able to tell us more about that next week, then, hopefully.
Possibly, yeah. Possibly.
I will push you. I will push you. All right, Lou. Have a good evening. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye. Oh, there you go. There's a lovely Lou. Let's just do that. Well, I'm sure you'll agree. That was absolutely fascinating. My head is buzzing now with all these different things that can be used in crafting. And it just goes to show there's a whole big world out there, everyone. A whole big world. And it's positive and it's fabulous. And you know what? It's just going to get better. So, you know, be kind to one another, help one another, enjoy your time crafting, because there's lots of things coming out to help us enjoy it even more. With that, I'll leave you and I will see you next week. Or I might do a cheeky live tomorrow. I'm not sure. I'm too scared yet. But I did some cards and stuff that I might do on a live tomorrow. So thank you very much for watching. It's been an absolute pleasure, and have a good evening, everyone. And if you are an Everton fan, I think they didn't win tonight because I was cheeky eye in the football. But anyway, thank you very much, and I will see you next week. But look out for me on Facebook page, and also I'll put this on there for you to see. Good night, everyone. See you later. Bye.